Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and got to spend some time with their families. I know it was awesome for our players and coaches to have that Saturday game, get the win, and then get to take a little time yesterday. Very, very much needed, important time with our families, and very appreciative of that coming off of a huge win for our team. Another great crowd, unbelievable environment there at US Bank, and just a lot to obviously be thankful for with our season, but also the performance of our team. Special teams playing a huge role with Josh Metellus' blocked punt, Greg Joseph with the 61-yarder to win the game. Huge moment for him and culmination of a lot of hard work for Greg and just dedication to his craft throughout the season, being ready to win a football game like that. Thought, TJ and JJ both with big days, but there were a lot of performances, across the offense that really maybe didn't show up in the stat sheet, but really, really game-changing plays at certain times to help get that done. Still looking for a little bit more consistency there. And, our defense, once again, being really solid situationally on third down, getting to, getting some stops, with New York in scoring position, I thought were huge for our team. Pat P with that huge interception and just giving us an opportunity to play complimentary, limited turnovers, limited penalties, played a clean game, just not ultimately consistency across the board that we're still hunting. And that's ultimately on me to find ways of getting our team to respond and do that as we progress forward. Just injury updates for you guys. James Lynch will be more than likely out this week. Consider him week to week moving forward with that shoulder. And then Garrett Bradbury continues to trend upward, and we'll see how he does throughout the week, and keep you guys posted on his availability into the weekend. But other than that, our team came out pretty clean out of the game, and we'll hope to have a good week of prep and prepare for what will be, anytime you go to Lambeau Field, it's a challenge. But the Packers are playing really well right now, playing good football, trying to find their way into the playoffs. And, what's showing up on tape is a team that looks like, they're playing their best ball right now, and we're going to have a really good performance going up there to get a win in the division and continue momentum building upward for us.
Okay, we'll go Andrew, Matthew, and then Ben.
Hey, Kevin, you've mentioned just wanting to use these games to maybe get a look at some younger defenders. I'm just curious, what have you thought of those contributions from Brian and Josh and guys like Asazi?
Yeah, those three guys come to mind, as three guys we really wanted to try to find some snaps for, and all they did was go out and just be incredibly productive with those snaps. Brian, you can feel Brian's speed and athleticism on the field when he's out there, contributed to him not only forcing that fumble, but recovering it himself. Metellus, graded out really clean, really good tackler, continues to show a real level of instinct and kind of finding a nice role in our secondary when he does get his snaps. And then Sezi, his energy and athleticism shows up, and he's flying around out there, has shown to be incredibly coachable for a young player as he gets more and more snaps. And we're going to continue to find roles for everybody that we can to help us win football games. And those three guys took advantage of their opportunities and provided some great snaps for us in our attempt to help keep some of our other guys fresh and at their best here as we go towards the last couple games of the season on into the playoffs.
Hey, Kevin, as far as run pass ratio goes, you guys have the third highest percentage of pass plays, or you know what I mean, the run pass ratio. I was just curious if that's kind of how you envisioned it when you got here, was leaning into the pass more, or if you think that that's kind of a product of just playing in a lot of close games where you've had to pass the ball at the end, or I guess what you make of your philosophy with that ratio.
Yeah, you definitely want to try to be as balanced as you possibly can. I would, philosophies and all that thing and all those things can get thrown out sometimes when you're trying to, come back from 33 and a half, or you are in some of these close games where maybe you don't have those end of game 4-minute type drives where you can add another 6, 7, 8 carries on those normal downs. in the 4-minute mode to try to put the game away. I thought, the other day, just looking back on it, there was a couple real opportunities for us to stay on the field as an offense. We chose to be aggressive on one of those 3rd and shorts, and had a real opportunity for a potential explosive that, maybe would have got us going a little bit earlier, maybe gave us the ability to stretch that lead out in that moment, or kind of keep a lead a little bit more, and not let it get so close, and just didn't make that play, and then had a couple other shorter 3rd down conversion opportunities that might have provided us with some more, earned 1st down run opportunities. Want to definitely be more balanced. That's on me as the play caller. My faith in Dalvin Cook and Alexander behind our offensive line to run the football well. I thought Dalvin ran the ball well and definitely probably deserved a few more opportunities. It's just how that game kind of went. The opportunities to maybe avoid some of those 3rd downs and some of the pressure packages you can see from that defensive structure kind of presented itself, to try to be a little bit more aggressive throwing the football on early downs. I think that did contribute to JJ and TJ having the days that they did, but across the board, we definitely want to be more balanced when we can and marry the run and the pass, and allow our offensive philosophy to come to life a little bit more. So definitely something that I need to do better as the play caller, and our guys are ready to go regardless of the play call. They go out and execute, and that consistency on some of those early downs or converting some more 3rd downs will give us more opportunities to hopefully do that.
Kevin, as you look at these last two playing out in probably colder weather here in Green Bay and Chicago the last couple of weeks, how will that affect the way you go about practice this week? Will you guys try to get outside to get acclimated for some of those things, or is that not as important as
No,
it might seem?
It's very important. Yeah, it's very important, Ben. We'll get outside. It looks like the weather is going to cooperate, at least to give us pseudo similar conditions to what we'll see at Lambeau Field this weekend. So we'll get outside and get our guys acclimated. We'll kind of do it we've such an unbelievable facility here. We can kind of do it in a hybrid way where we can be inside for some things, get out, for some throwing and catching and some team periods, get our guys accustomed to the surface, hopefully. That might be similar to what we'll see up at Lambeau. But I do think it's really important these next 2 weeks on into the playoffs that we try to best we can simulate for our guys what environments they're going to be playing in. We've been very fortunate to get a lot of indoor games here, even when we went on the road, or different types of climates, and we've absolutely benefited from the home games we've had, either the 3-game stretch or this last 2-game stretch. So it's something that we always are talking about, but I think as much as some of our guys might fight me on it, it'll be the best thing for us to get outside and get acclimated to it.
Alec and then Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. Just want to ask you, as you look back at the tape from Saturday, what did you see from Daniil, and how important do you feel like his activity was just that entire game?
Huge. I mean, he had some plays there, Alec, that maybe didn't even register in the stat column, in addition to his tackles and sacks that he had. His pressure rate was sky high. He was I thought our coaches did a great job using him and Z in some different ways and different alignments that allowed them to maybe get some singles, non-chips, rushes, things like that. But he was active. He was great setting the edge, really showed up with some strength on the edge and some, versatility playmaking wise, ran a couple plays down. So I'm glad you mentioned him. I thought Daniil had one of his better games and continues to show everybody what he's all about, and will be somebody we really rely on here moving forward.
Yeah, Kevin, first I wanted to put in a request that the indoor practice part is the part that's open to the media. You might have to change your plans around a little bit, but if you could do that, we'd appreciate it. But no, second is on TJ Hawkinson. So much of the production that he's had has been in sort of that first level, by the line of scrimmage, 5-7 yards past. And I know traditionally, like, safety valve has not always been a positive word, but that is in some ways what he's done. And I'm just curious, like, What's the primary benefit to having somebody who can just clean up in that area, especially given some of the other people you have on offense?
Well, Kevin, I think it's a good point. A lot of his targets end up coming versus some of these shell defenses we get quite a bit of, and with such an urgency by defenses to make sure they've got help over the top of Justin, and they know the value that Adam and KJ have vertically, and able to win within our progression kind of based pass game. The tight end position gets to work, against some premier matchups sometimes, but also in some opened up space from maybe the top shelf being taken, or your ex receiver taking so much responsibility of the defense, and understanding where he is. And that's where, whether you call it a safety valve or you just look at the progression that Kirk's going through and understanding he's going to have some voids for TJ, he's going to have some progressions where we start out with a mindset of TJ being the primary, and then JJ or KJ and Adam really running into his vision, or being a part of progressions where if TJ's not available, hopefully that means that there's some open grass for somebody else. And that's where I think Kirk's done a phenomenal job, even in the face of some pressure, even in some snaps where he's had some things going on around him in the pocket. He's been able to keep his eyes up, progress, and find second, third, fourth progressions to keep drives alive. In some cases, score touchdowns in the red zone, convert on third down. So it all comes back to your quarterback's ability to function in your offense, and try to have all five eligibles come to life. But you need a guy that's capable of doing that. And Kirk's, been phenomenal from that standpoint all year long, really, and playing each snap as its own, and help driving our offense forward when, it can be tough at times against some of the defenses that we see, trying to make sure we're getting Justin his touches, but also we've got real weapons and value all over our offensive formation, where guys like KJ against Indianapolis, or TJ this past week, can come to life, and with the volume of targets just based upon how we're being defended a lot of the times.
We'll close with Chris and then Don.
Hey, Kevin, you obviously played the Packers in your first game in the regular season. What, over the last several months, have you maybe learned more about the Viking-Packer rivalry? And then also just your thoughts with the Packers winning yesterday and still in the playoff picture, should have a playoff type environment coming on Sunday, I would imagine.
Yeah, they're playing good football right now. Their defense is getting turnovers. They've clearly have one of the best quarterbacks in our game, and they're continuing to get comfortable with their personnel. And you've really seen them use all the personnel that they have at their disposal to attack on offense. And defensively, they've done a really good job getting the football. And whether it's still getting pressure on the quarterback or forcing turnovers in the pass game, getting around the football and getting the ball out for forced fumbles, and trying to change the game that way. They're playing good football. They're playing complementary football right now. And there's a reason why they're winning and trending upwards. They're really well coached, and obviously they've got experience of playing so many meaningful games in the month of December and on. So expecting a heck of an environment there, and a football team that's playing really, really well. And as far as just the overall Packers-Vikings rivalry, I just know that when they've had so much success in our division for a long time, and with their quarterback and their coaching staff, and a lot of the players that we'll see this weekend have won a lot of football games. So we've got to make sure we play, be on the hunt for still being a consistent four-quarter outfit, and playing not only just with the confidence to win close games in the end, but try to play a complete football game. Play as much to our philosophy and our style as we can, while also knowing that there's going to be some challenges that this team presents that we've got to be on top of, and do a good job as coaches and players against them.
Do you have any additional thoughts in terms of reducing snap counts for players and that sort of thing, starting with this week?
Yeah, I think you saw some of that last week, Chris. It's a balance between making sure we're doing everything we can to still win football games. There's a lot out in front of us as a team. We've been able to clinch the division, and we know we're going to be a part of the playoffs, but there's still a lot to be said for, trying to give ourselves an opportunity for the most amount of home games we possibly can, while also making sure we're taking care of our roster and really projecting what it looks like from a snap count standpoint to be fresh when we get those opportunities come January. So I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think we've got a lot of confidence in some of these young players you're seeing get more opportunities and their role, maybe not only in helping with the snap counts across the board, but their role in helping us win and continuing to, grow and develop. And that player development is a huge thing for us. And if you can do it while still winning football games and providing your roster with a chance to continue to grow, I think that's a really good thing for our team and our organization. So, but I give those guys that did get more snaps and will continue to see snaps so much credit for being ready when their number was called, and going out there and having some real production for us.
Kevin, if we could go back to TJ just for a little bit to piggyback on what Kevin was talking about. He's so easygoing and he makes it look easy, this transition to kind of seamlessly go into this team. But Brian O'Neill was talking after the game to me about he doesn't get enough credit for basically learning this playbook in 2 days. But on top of that, he has to earn the trust. He says he loves the fact that Kirk trusts him to get those top shelf. To have both of that, do you have any other player that that could jump in, learn it that quick, and earn both Kirk's trust and get to that level?
It's hard to imagine, and that's probably some pretty solid analysis by our right tackle there of his ability to come in and learn on the fly. I think he's been I give Kwesi and his staff a ton of credit for identifying a player that can seamlessly fit in with his skill set based upon how we play and how we would try to use the player. We had a lot of dialogue, about that before the trade, and then getting him here and learning more and more about him, learning the type of person, the makeup. He may be easygoing, but I can tell you during our preparation and how he goes about his daily habits of trying to, make sure he's practicing in a way where he knows he's making up for lost time with reps with Kirk or, in the run game with his role for us. So what he's done on Sundays and in games has shown up because of, in my opinion, not only his experience and success before he got here, but his willingness to just put in that extra time and make sure that every day is a work day for him in preparation for trying to continue to solidify his role, which he has clearly done. He's a huge part of what we want to do offensively, and he's really fit with what we want to be as an offense and how he works with not only our quarterback, but when you think about KJ and Adam and our running backs in the pass game to go along with Justin and his dynamic role he's had for us all over the field this year. So there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of responsibility on a guy like TJ to be ready to be in a lot of different spots and have an impact, and he's been able to do that. So give him a ton of credit. Give Brian Angelico and Ryan Cordell in that tight end room a ton of credit for really it's been a minute-to-minute thing since he's arrived, and there's been no lost time there in preparing TJ Hawkinson to play for us.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you on Wednesday.